Hello, hi guys. Ke Brian Sinomadi mo Kasi Lifestyle. Re mo our fourth episode ya Minds Over Matter podcast. Ke sa tsamaya ke le one, ke tsamaya le
Hi, I'm Nike Kitumile Molekwa, and I'm pleased to join Brian today as we're going to tackle issues like we always do. Today we felt that there is a need to touch base on who poisoner. There is a trend people are spiking or they are putting poison inside people's drinks. We are using Louis Wako the extension Mososhanguve he was poisoned and unfortunately he lost his life.
Naka mko ke kereleng story ka teng. Louis o ka re ke motho na tlhaga o ka re maybe na tlha ko na tlhang ko teng a tlha di choming then a tsena mo ntlung ha tsena mo ntlung o ka re o fitlhile a khopela one of the neighbors tsa hae porridge then from there o ka re ha ba mo fa yona porridge la a ijela fast mo ile gore na bontshang ka re o tshwere ke tlala too much o bontsha like motho o ntse sebaka a sa ja kere then from there o ka re ba mo fa porridge a ja ha fetso ja Louis o ka re after some time nyana a tlhaka-tlhakana sona tlhaka-tlhakana go tlile o ka re ba re o thomile go tlhatsa madi a kere then as na tlhatsa madi ya ba tsela tsa re ba betsa ambulance and then ba misa sepetlele ha fitla ko sepetlele ke ha fitla tlhokofalla ko sepetlele
o itse taba ya o tshella batho di poison e boima e botlhoko because of ko mafelong there's no justice a o itse gore ke mang a tsheletse mang poison and there's no survivors. Like you cannot survive poison e le gore ba itshela ko bjaleng ke sa itse gore poison e ba e reka kae lebitso la yona ke eng, but that poison is terrible because of I remember last time there was this young girl ke mama rona ke malebetse man cause re shoota ditori tse dintsi mara ba ke show our friends ba mitsi o se leng ra mo ra etsa interview ko habo ka mo Hammanskraal ko ko Varambata ngwanola sale abuta hae na ile DJ then a motsora tsamaile yana it was Saturday ngwala tsamala abuta hae then lately ha bua ka matsha o bua lwala then it was difficult for ngwanola a vomita etsang a tlhokofala like o tlhokofetse botlhoko and na ile ngwana o le re mmae wa morata ile ngwana mo like kare na ile ngwanyana ya liwan. You remember the story, guys? You remember that story? Ke mo lebetse le ba re ke mangwe
lebitso la gae le tsamako bo gontsinyana bo somewhere there if I'm not wrong. It's a very common name. I remember that story. It happened I think in 2024. Somewhere around that time ka mo Varambati.
Bothata ba ka ke bona ngwanaka o ne a ntshe last year ka di 3 tsa September go etsahetse tjena o tswile leitinyana le obdwa hae ba ya lodging Bela lodge around tsona mo Bela obdwa hae na ile o dlala music ko Bela lodge ke DJ so ba tsamaya together then ka nako ya gore obdwa hae a ile o dlala music then a re mo yene because wena ile o dlala music re ke tla ile o dula le bagotsi ba ka ke bana ba ko sekolong then ho ba jwalo ya ba re wa tsamaya ile o dula le bone mo ba neng ba dutse mo teng mo then a khutle I still remember ba khutle ka bo past 7 and then ha khutla una le right fela o sa bona le hore something bad ska etsahala then ba kena mo tlung next le busy phehile toteng a kena a change a para diaparo a uletsa o dlala music ka e kotshisanya ke DJ vele kotshisanya dlala music kotshisanya then ka bo past 8 athoma ho tle some 2 ladies 2 girls thakanyana tse tsa gae ba re ha ba kokota mona ka pula ba re ba kopa bona ke ya ka re lemisa ka ibsuso ba ra wa una le ntho mo re batla mo yena then ka ye ko kamereng ya gae fitla ka bua le ena ka rona le banana ba ithu ka ntle ka mo ba o batlang a re ba botsena ke bo mang mama and then o wa botsena ba batlang okay ha ke fitla go bona monana zanga ka botsena le bo mang ke tsefela a re ke le botsena le batla eng then bara wa re ke ntse watch mo school bagging sa hae hai ka se yo yena ka mo putsa kana maka ya mo school bagging mo cause na se pele mo dining room mo then ka ya mo school bagging mo ka ilontsha ka checka watch eo then ka ba fa yona banana ba le ba tsamaya so ha ba o fitla mo gating ba sheba ko morago but by that time next that thing or maybe there's some motive behind bana ba wa understand so ka vele ka re mo bone ai le kwale le ha ke gate eo ka loko eo ha letswa a bana ba le ba tswa then inkinyana ke sa eme teng mo mojako ba getla bana ba le ba sheba ko morago ha ba sheba ko morago ba fumana ntse ke ba shebile jwalo so ha ke ba tsamaya ngwana ka bo ha ba fetsa o tsamaya then wa tswa ka mo kamereng ya yo re shimama ke na le a very serious headache guys ke mhlomong ke metsi because ke khalosa yo o swimile too much okay ra enka jwalo o to ha iwa tsamaya ha tsamaya ke sala lena re tu bile ke fetsa o phekere mo ena ko phekele na o re ke le jele mo le tswa mo teng a ra zanga ra ja mama la buti since re ja teng mo high before to tsamaya ka re okay no ena stress a thoma a re monna a khutlela vele ko kamereng ya hae mole ke ya ko mo cheka re mama ku ke na le pain mo khareng ke re mo pain mo khareng a re nna pain e mama e bohloko ka re okay e re ke vaseline because nne re batlana le rapa rapa sa bong ke re ke vaseline then ko rape ka vaseline ka nka vaseline ya gae mo le ka morapa remember ntho ke moramang ka ona ko no ikgotsofatsa fela because a se vaseline le ya o ba ya ko kerekeng o ba vaseline fela ya di baby nyana ya yena a tshatsang ka yona karaba ntati karaba okay ka file o ka re o sharp nyana ka re o sharp ara hanyane ka mosianyana mo a patla mamu ai ka khutela ko teng room ka etsa mo ka ja ibile petsa o ja mola ke tlatswa dijana ke bego ke buta kitchen ya basko okay ka dula fatshe so ka thoma ka gotlana le phone ke tsamaisa nako ya hae ha ke ya hape after ma 20 minutes 20 to 30 minutes ke ya hape ke ya mo checka ke re how do you feel now are monesh mama ntwe e bohloko yana e tswa ka mo pele ka mo e tsamaya e betsa ka mo morago e tswa ka mo morago e betse ka mo pele kutlwa bohloko mama ke re okay batla manene ko rabe vele ka mo morago ka mo ka nka vaseline ka moraba shem ka fetsa ka beya mo ka yo dula hape dining room di re bo past 9 by that time okay then ka dula ko dining room ka dula molenyana ka resha e re because now sa ne ke am sebetsing e re ke kena ka mo kamereng ke robala ke kena ka mo kamereng ke lokisa mpeto wa ka ke a lokisa ke tlosa diwanto ke a beya mo mesamo ya go robala ke a beya mo ha ke kena ka mo kamereng bile ke re mo ene o itse ke ha o file o ka re ha o file sharpne o tle ko mama ko kamereng o tlo robala le mama ha ke kwa le mojako le kamera wa ke kwa okay fine a re hai ke a batla manyana ebile o ka re ke tshwara ke borokonyana hanyane bo sesanyane hanyane okay wa goa mo mama ai ke na o ke tla fofa mo beteng ke kena ka mo kamereng ya hae ke re boipelo ke a re jo mama kutlwa bohloko ngwana ka kutlwa bohloko mama ke re mo kae jwanong a ra ke se go mama ke tla bolela rena kutlwa bohloko mo kae melwa ka kaofela o bohloko melwa ka kaofela mama o bohloko ke re ha o boipelo o jeleng kono o ile a re a ka ja next mama ke re o nwele eng a ra botena ntheketse di what non alcohol ka re okay so ke re tlo mo mama ge mama a o hold a o be mo sibeng ke a try go mo kuka mole ha ke try go mo kuka mole then ba nthole ya gore o re eish mama go tlhoka ke gone lo dula fatshe gone lo dula fatshe ao so ke a mo hoga ke a mo tshwara ke mo beya mo nna mo ngwana la thoma a tšhintšha matlho a oma tsika fela ka mo beya mo fatshe ka mashapa ka ditlapa ka mashapa ka ditlapa ka mashapa ka ditlapa ka mashapa ka ditlapa then ke yona o wa khuta he ha seno a khuta ke mo sia mo betheng mo ke bula mejako ka ke bo to 10 ka nako eo bula ka mejako ke ya ko mo makhelwane ke fumana bo makhelwane ba soka ba robala ke a ba kopa thuso mo bona then batla ke ntatwa mo pele mo le mmate batla ha batla then batla ba tlo nthusa ntate o le so yena ka gore ke motho o mogolo ke motho e leng gore wa bona gore ngwana ka o mo tseleng ba tena o tshaba o mpolelela gore ke ngwana o a tsamaya o khemsadi wa he ya siana ka pele ke re ke founela moshimana ka go tsanyama ha arabe phone so ntate lo re ramise sepetlele ke re boipelo e re se sepetlele ntate sema ke a re next mama ha ona ntate sema wa tlonkisang sepetlele founela buta ka tlonkisa sepetlele ke re buta ho ke try mo founela ha arabe phone a re you know what mama try to call my brother again and then o tlo araba hanka otherwise nka setso ka mo o buta ka asteng ka tsamaya ka mo ntlong ya buta ka asteng okay ke try ke founele o buta ha mmelo o fitile ha tsebo ra kena ka itshetsanya ke try ke o monna ke a tšha mama mpe mo fatshe o bule difestere o ntshele ka metsi mama so ke tshaba mo tshela ka metsi ke botsa ntatole ke mo tshela ka metsi na a re mo tshele ka mo tshela ka metsi ke mo tshela ka metsi ka mo setting ye wa 10 o shebela ka ha ke mo tshela ka mo wa 10 o shebela ka ka se tlhola ke sa tsebana story sa ka ke a wa ke phone ke founela buta high vele ke se ke founela buta immediately arabe phone ke ngwana ka ka jika ka pele ngwana o tlhakatlhakana a re ha o kha mama because ngwana o ke tsamaile mo a le sharp ke re mme ke ha o ka tloela botsa dipotso wa tla hae ha kena mo koloing a tla then mme o le ke re mme a re mama o fetsa mo founela ba re ngwana o tlhakatlhakana a re ene go latile ngwana o tlhakatlhakana then ra nka ngwana ra misa sepetlele a fitlha re ba fana ke a re buti ke a lwala a re buisa sepetlele re gale ko emetse okay ra nka ngwana ra misa sepetlele ke bo past 10 a wa di doctor da fitlha di lwala ngwana ya ba o re ke bo past 12 bo past 11 past 12 bo di past 1 ntse ba lwala ngwana mo until ka bo 20 past 2 a gawa mo go ra khutla ntse lo rai go padile ka yena then doctor king ha ba filo ka ngwana o jele poison then poison okay because rona re tlotsa mae ka botse ke rona ba ke tlo before to tla mo o tlatsa bontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsontsonts So ha o tsamaya before tlo tsamaya 10 minutes to 20 minutes before tlo tsamaya ke ha tlhatsitse ge ya tlhatsitse madi ke mo ba boneng gore o tsheletse poison o teng. So Sunday sona seo a robetseng ka sona sa di-3 o tlhakatlhakane ka di-2 bosigo, and then Sunday sa di-3 o senkgana matlhokafala. Sunday sone seo sa di-3 ka bo past 11 o tla another girl mo ne le friend ya hae yena ke a tseba ne ntse a phela le ena wa tla mo walla bosigo after ba utlwa gore boipelo o tlhokofetse, then wa tla mo walla na fitlha mo o re monna mama boipelo wa ntshwenya. Ke re boipelo wa o tshwenya? A re boipelo wa ntshwenya. Ke re why should boipelo wa tlo tshwenya? Boipelo wa itse gore le ko fridging ha se tshwara ke ice na boipelo hana le letsatsi a robetse a se tshwara ke ice ngwana ka mo. A re ke re boipelo wa ntshwenya. Boipelo ke re o tshwenya a re o re ke tloela olla ene o bua le nna ka enga es no tseba boipelo ha kwatile. Boipelo o bua le nna ka enga o mpotsa gore ke tloela olla, ke tloele o rasa wa e tshwanetse ke rasa, wa e tshwanetse o rasa o rasetsa tloela olla. Ke re ao a re awa ra tswa mo yona ngwanola ra mosia le jwalo jike ka bo past 1 bosigo. Ena the same person o posta Facebook gore boipelo ba mo tsheletse slow poison, ke that's why boipelo a tlhokafetse. Like slow poison, how do you know gore boipelo ba mo tsheletse slow poison? Because ha ona le nna motho ke leng ka mpotsa gore boipelo o tsheletse di poison. Marena, she did know who people in prison. No, so ka December time, last year ka December time, ebile ntho ya gore wa tloga o ya saloon, ko saloon ha fitlha o fumana queue. Bathunyana ba ba fenyana mo salooneng mo. So botsa the lady hore yena o tlo etsa meriri ena o tshwane o ya nna le mo a yang mo teng. Okay, fine. O swa saloon ke a bona a re mo ene o tlo tshwanela go because ha o tsamaya go tlo ba le batho ba ba tlotlang ba tlo kena. Okay, ke tla a ema mole a utlwa gore ga kgone go dula ke motho o thomang a bua taba tsa gore hantle nna ke batla go ya ha maboipelo he o etsang ha maboipelo wa botswana o ile etsang ha maboipelo batho etsang ha maboipelo a rawa ke batla go ya ha maboipelo ke ile confessa ha maboipelo ke batla ile confessa ha maboipelo ke lo botsa maboipelo gore le nna ke phate ya batho ba bolaileng boipelo phate batho ba bolaileng boipelo ha hore o phate batho ba bolaileng boipelo le ba bakae a rawo apa a se nna ke na ke le mong mo lefung la boipelo a se nna ke le mong mo re teng le teng re teng a se nna ke le one ao ba mo botsa mokgotsa o so o kae a re o teng oho o bola ke biri o bola ke drugs gore ho tlhakatlhakane mo yena mo ao yo a re hape wa re hanta ngwanyana ola wa lekgo a re robale o wa re hanta ngwanyana lekgowa a re kgone ho pata boroko so nna ke batla ho ya ko maboipelo ke ile confessa ko maboipelo ene ke ba boditse le bona hore ke ile confessa ha maboipelo ene ha le lona le sa ya maboipelo ke ile botsa maboipelo ke lo botsa maboipelo ka lentsha maina a lona kaofela ba le leng involved mo lefung la boipelo cause a se nna ke na ke le one mo lefung la boipelo a re au so since ke emetse that girl hore atle but anyway a ke na taba hore watla o ra hatle a ke na taba hore watla o ra hatle oksala yo se ke a itse hore ho etsahala eng futhi ke a itse na go etsagetse eng it's fine ha ena bothata hore batla or ha batla se ka mkgotsofatsang gore ka mogwa a thomileng ho posta di Facebook ka tele no ha posta Facebook a botsa social media hore ene ke phate batho ba bolaileng boipelo ha posta Facebook sa kgonne ho posta Facebook gore boipelo ba mo tsheletse slow poison le no ha posta Facebook gore yena ke phate batho ba bolaileng boipelo then ho tla ba right ho ka se tlhogala le hore a tsamaye a ye ha maboipelo a ile confessa ha maboipelo a ka posta ona mo di social media mo hore yene ke phate ya batho ba bolaileng boipelo wa maboipelo e tla be le hona ha confessa ka one mogho e tla be le hona ha confessa ka one mogone o or a poste Facebook na postile boipelo wa batho ha fetsa o robala
So while we're on that, you remember last week we were talking about Amogelang, who shot his girlfriend, and then later shot himself. And soon, while we were busy mourning him, we also heard of a passing of a police officer na station na ko Themba police station. It was a very sad week, guys, for Themba police station, and I'd like to sincerely stretch out my condolences, to the officers, to the people also, and then with also the guy he's also passed on, and allegedly he was also poisoned someone drinking. So this trend ya ho bolaya batho ka poison, your brain is also a sad one, because now unfortunately for this one it's difficult to trace back. When motho a tshella ka mahara alcohol, you're chilling with more than maybe 3 people or 4 people, it's a public space, so it's difficult to know who exactly did that. It's a sad one, and it's something I feel the family, they can't find closure. Unlike when we know it's Lazarus Antonio who murdered Kahelo. I'm not saying that it's better. There's no a measurement of pain. Losing a loved one is sad.
That's true.
But I believe if you've lost a loved one and then you finally get justice, even though it can't replace that person, but there's a little bit of closure. What, this person, but now when a person is killed, poison, you can't even trace, you can't know who exactly did that. So that means there will never be justice. You can only hope or pray for karma. But Leona, you won't even be sure because it's going to hit someone or suspected, but you don't even have evidence for that person.
Or there won't be justice because of remember the camera I believe very good this thing. Then iba buima hore o ka pointa hore ke motho tsheletse ke motho moso, and if I want to or maybe uboni, but afraid he or she can come forward, then it will be difficult to identify to okay, but you are a suspect by Kalwine. So poison you but now the question is like, what can we do to avoid the poison? What can we do?
Yeah, obviously people are going to be like, you take your drink when you go to the toilet, take your drink whenever you go. But the reality of the matter is, sometimes as you drink, alcohol, obviously the percentage, so there's a point you don't think as straight as you were thinking 10 minutes ago or an hour ago. So hence alcohol, you get comfortable, and then you are no longer aware of your surroundings as you are when you are sober or tipsy. So it's difficult, honestly, it's difficult. Advice like poison, guys, poison, like when it comes to poison, brain, it's something it's so sensitive. And then I wouldn't even try to imagine what amount of hatred for that person. What exactly is it that you are fighting with that person? And obviously it's people they are close to you.
Yeah, because of
I guess not to have from that table. So I suspect the cycle, your cycle, in most cases.
I think it's just that sometimes some other people wapalwa hore motho akanna aliwani le family high maybe if lord maybe unyoka ho enjoy batho ba bantsho rata di
social gatherings,
and at the end of the day ka mkhobolang o right bala wa bona. So but now I ke itse hore this thing ya unwa ka mabotlolo di glass maybe ke yona, then what if people re tsola pele re nwa ka bodi can, because of can sometimes e ba buima hore motho aka spike. And there are some people ba loreng ha banwa, I'm one of them, like but now I guess like ya la banwa di so exam. So but I was one of those people or ha kenwa na bjala a ke bobi mofatsi, like I don't want to lie, and I can the code. Like the cotton like I prefer hore ha ke rekile, especially ke tswile ke rekile di can tsaka, then ke ha ke ibutse wa itlhaloganya. So but as re bolela gore batho ba planela and o ka se itse batho ba planela bjang. So there are many ways gore motho maybe wa itse okay Brian o tlotla o nwa can maybe o tla a ibidisitse or a iditse lo tsa hae I swipe ona mo, you'll never know. That's why batho ba plana people will plan for you behind your back and it's who botlhoko because of when you don't know anything. So that's why a ke itse gore re ka stopa bjang, because of if motho o nyaka o nyaka no this guy like a tsamaye mo ha tsamaye, unless if wena then o fokotsa go tsamaya the social gatherings and everything, you limit yourself mo those things and you limit yourself mo different thing. Because of chomi ke yona the worst enemy mo bophelong, cause chomi ke yona lebelang success yago gone ba nong ke tumile like if a ku itse I don't know your social life, I don't know gore o phela bjang o etsa eng o like ke nyaka mo wena wa itlhaloganya. But if now I'm your friend ke kono o itse gore why every time ke tumile e ba ena the good one a kry the boyfriend or a kry lenyalo or a kry eng memmereko a kry eng, then that's where comes hatred mo teng gore motho a utlhoe because of friends wa bona. But if you don't have friends, like ba eta hello hi, I don't think people will hate you, even though but how are they gonna hate you? Because even now how le mo ka se lifestyle ke maitseng gore ke le mo ka se lifestyle.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's difficult to set up motho e leng horeng a phele le batho ba bantši. Ke nagana gore wa bona ya gore o phele o le one le yana Brian e ba ka mokhomo, because sometimes when you have people ba lona khona bolela le bona, it's easy for you to deal with a lot of mental issues, and then ho tshwana le batho ba bolaya batho, like if you speak out you have an issue, you're able to talk about it if you got something. But now when you don't have people at all that you're speaking to, it's also something along you can't talk to anyone. So a topic Brian gore ke nyaka ho maybe re ka bolela ka what is the root cause ya gore like what is the root cause ya gore motho ka feletsa a feledisa re o decide ho poison a Brian. So according to statement se no se bolelang ke tlhaloganya gore it's the root cause can be jealousy. The root cause can be jealousy and competition amongst peers, competition amongst friends. So maybe the advice that now I can give personally ke gore you have to be able to read energies. Energies, Brian, they never lie. Now when someone is not wishing you, and they can smile all they can. They obviously people will come to you, they smile, but you have to be able to reach a point whereby you are able to read energies. Don't just look at a person as smile alone and Brian ashulo was smile one rata. No. Energy doesn't lie. Like when a person has bad agendas ka bophelo ba o tlo mo feel even la ka tla mo wena ka eng ka or eng Brian, when a person have bad intentions ka wena, I don't know, but I believe that we were born with letswalo. Hona le letswalo. I'm not too sure ka English ngare it's a conscious or what is it yeah, something like that. Letswalo. So maybe if we as people we start to take into consideration letswalo la rena, we don't ignore letswalo when letswalo la hao le tlo botsa. So when someone is not good for you, Brian, don't see to ore a ke tla phela le bona ka botlhale ho bona hore motho o a o lokela o moya wa wa botsa this person is not good for you. Guys, we are blacks. I'm not too sure about other races. I'm not being racist or anything, but now what I know about black people, ralora o kono lora Brian, like you can dream mara also show hore ntwe e bolela ka, but the signs on the dream, you analyze the dream, like they communicate such things. The thing like we were born with that, we are lucky hore re bele ha le tsona. So I think as people we have to be able to read energies. You have to be able ho nna lo ena le letswalo la hao ipotsa mara why always ke na le Brian ke ho etsa lantho. So you read the patterns, of your people hore man o always henka share di link tsa podcast ke guys, can you please follow, can you please subscribe. I remara if inka share something so stupid or something said about my life ke motlo commenta, they never share my positive things, they never, but when it's something negative those things o di ka ba tsenyane no, because re bolela, but those are very serious things. You have to take them serious. You have a friend who wena a ona tsatsi la ka o botsang gore chomi, let me help you with your CV, let me help you. They're always on about dilo tse snacks or dilo tse leng they don't build you. You remove such people mo bophelong ba hao. I think it la fokotseha. I'm not saying it's always the case, but in most cases, we tend to, especially the youngsters, we tend to ignore the signs. We tend to always want to be the stronger person when you always have to be the bigger person. Hey, mang, we really what you want to ignore it and continue as if there's nothing. Those things, they end up the leader to poisonana. If someone is not for you, just eliminate them and move on with your life.
Yeah, I think these red flags, this guy or this girl, is she worth it or ikaba my friend? Because of now one thing I know, I don't wanna lie, I don't have friends. My friend those are my friends. Other people we just tolerant, we just greet each other. Sometimes in 2 minutes but I've learned it more if you want to make it more pilong, dilo tsa hao di be private, phela o le one, yetsa dilo tsa hao tse bona hore di tlo berekela. But once o te associate le batho ba bantši, batho ke batho, re na le dipelo, re na le eng, re na le memona, re na le dilo tse dintši, because of we come from different background. Chomi la lore wa itse chomi ke motho monne la lore yena na evil mind, but o mong a ka mo tshela evil mind gore yetsa so na sale ka bona I witness it ke gola tse khonore di chomi jo di khono tla ko nna o kra ko haike le one chomi itle jo di cheese boy jo ke tshwere ngwanyana jo khopela mpestedi ke re ba le yena. But those people I've realized, man, these people, they are not my friends. They are using me in order to benefit whatever they want to benefit. And ba ka se thusi ka silo mo philong nna every time santse ke ba bona ba shine ba le sharp ba le eng, but gore motho a ka thoma mara Brian, are you okay now, Joe? Re ka etsa gore thusane re tse 1 2 3 re ka etsa eng. You know Joe, I remember na ke tlhakole ka mo this industry ne. My first project this thing sa ka form organization ba re ke Soul Actors. I've born to vela ke rata go direct ke etsa kuma felong re referetse really 3 ke ne magita e be ra ba di tshumi really 3. Those guys you really know. I wish you ba ka utlwela this interview. Those guys I remember last time o mongwe ba re ke thapelo sala kra mmereko go bosoleng. That's the first guy loring really ba bo interview ya bosoleng yena a pass ne has no pass go thabatshwane. Then that guy jo ntse seleng a bolela o itse gore magita la bona ka jo na re sokola jo re up and down re tsang are guys ke ya bosoleng. No, I'm going ne. I was heartbroken because of interview abantsea, but it's fine, Joe. I wish him good lucks and everything. Our guys, we know Soul Actors, Joe Hakeboa. I'm gonna do by everything, Joe. Ke make a show gore lo tsere di shot and recover on. That time I was on stage dramas, like se mo di camera, like se di camera. Ke le mo staging, yeah. Then Joe, we're gonna do this and this and this. The guy who just not say na go bosoleng and everything, then I'll another life cause umitile new people, new life. Then why are you still looking back? Ko Brian, ko Mama. Then the second one was sitting. Then Kosarhula, we thought no, we're gonna be family until so but just the mind thing, maybe it's a one or aim. But we were matured because I think we were 17 and 18. Then the second one, Eliana, who fed on a come cook. A cramming miracle arena sometimes not could invite I better get job again metal but at the end to a fella come cool. Those guys when I got married in about thing. Ne the naile bona ba loring ke di destroy and what but after mo ho fella ka mkhuli today no ba sure I le no arsaboleng wa ikhalwanya. So now you can see hore a friend is not someone you can guarantee for a lifetime. It's just a friend because of no, I'm your friend. Tomorrow you will meet another people who level ya. Then you get other people. Kisa itu maybe le nna ba maybe Brian no because of umuhotle mo mona mudi TV re mona mo kai then now Brian may war swinger. I don't know, maybe le bona ba bona ka mko go credit level setsa high. But now that's why I don't guarantee a friend. I rather guarantee motho ke itseng hore no okay o no ke molekane wa ka re plana dilo le a le re ko pele re ka pallwa, but for now let's focus mo rena re etse eng, because once you involve another party then that's where problem comes
starts.
especially ha re gola jo difference like man a sa na kwa difference re na nna kwa re isa families re na nna kwa re no re khono botsa bana re no re phela, so re etsa eng ai gore no wa ke thoma ke tswa ke a go se mamma, you know how you go bona gore di relationships tse dintsi gore di thome di senye ke because of there's a friend
as a third
wa ikalwanya because of hona beno nna ke khono tloa no kere baby ka boa ke a kae khandi ke michiko nya ka ke etsa mare re friend e go kwa sene neng mo ga o botsore iskale baby o botsore ya mama ga bile o mpotso na bile ko kae mara how li one like those things di ka se beteng, but once you involve another person like motho o khono ba teng then a thomo bolela dilo gore o botsa motho ha o etsa eng wa itlhalwanya, so that is why now I don't guarantee gore ha re gola re sa ka ditšhomi ha re kopane go re kopane, but we must be careful because we don't know motho sala o tshwarela di khupikale then ka tshonitse no because of today we are doing a gathering ke tsatsi la high, we don't know. But now I say when especially how thoma o ba le family o thoma o ba matured ha re tsong go ditšhoming, and our kids ha ba gola le bona ba lebelle ditšhomi because of ona ba neng ke tumile wena bana ba ha o nyoko ba hodisa ka tsela e so ngwana ha o nyoko re aska most women ba nyoko gore bana ba bona ba thoma ba tlhalefa a ba nyako gore ba ye go ba shimane ba etse eng, so o kra wena you try by all means gore ngwana wa shote selo o kra phone o kra diaparo o kra eng, then bale ba thoma ba le jealous wa itlhalwanya because of bona ba bona ka re ola is a spoiled brat, but wena can't know ha o nye ke ngwana a gole a sokola because of ha o nye ke diphaga dipela di motse mo tseleng, so those friends bona because of lotso a ba khono di kreya ba thomo jealous tsa ngwana hao at the end of the day ba tshella ngwana hao go mabyaleng at the end of the day ba romella ngwana hao ka batho wa itlhalwanya.
Yeah, so right Brian, I think you've said basically you've said a mouthful hore sometimes it's good to detach from the relationships you don't benefit anything from. So unnecessary relationships, unnecessary friendships, ke tsona tse di feletsang di cause hore o be le a bigger cycle. And when you have a big cycle, it's difficult to know or to see, to realize you have to be careful. But when you have a lot of people surrounding, it's difficult to see who's who. Yeah. Because they come with different characters. You only meet them when you are drunk. But because they say they are your friends, you can't chase them. But if someone comes on your table, you're seated, you don't know them, you can easily say, bruh, like, no, we're not comfortable sitting with someone that we don't know. Can you kindly excuse us, find a table more than thing. But when you have a lot of people on your cycle, it's difficult, Brian. It is.
And
on that one.
And who tshwara mone like le batho ba go heno ne they must know batho ba phelang le bona gore le batho ba byang. You know there are some people ba private jo ne batho ba like la le byaleng, you know gore bo Brian tafola bona you ba tafola ya bona ne bo Brian ke batho re ha banwa they are careful. So le ka usane ha ba he Brian a ka re tlhokofetse ka poison re go re mara byang cause none these people, and we know ha ba these people ba careful ba phela so it means gore hona mo bathong ba hae there's someone else, cause a se taba tsore bo Brian ba kala mola o ya mola o etsang wa itlhalwanya, and there's some people ba loreng ha ba nwele ba otsela ba robala ba etsa eng. But if now you have a faithful friends like now ke beile glass so and then now go bya leng ke ntse le lore a se glass maybe ke damp or king then ka otsela ka etsa, then my friends then they are the one loreng ba lebeletse gore okay mo wetsa hala mo a wetsa leng, then nothing will come up gore motho a ka etsa so. Because you know some people go bya leng jo things are happening jo a lot, motho ka no fika go bya leng sale ka bona video mo bya ngwana ba mo haka ba fi o bona mkhoketseng motho atle a mohaki a kitsona lebeletse go re ba mara bya la bontsemo then ha mohaka so then what's hell.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. It was a demonstration. This is what can happen. Like an awareness.
And I think go lotse ba di tshelang hantshi vela ke sort of maybe mabokolonyana or dinality or sometimes o ka re ke liquid. I think it's a liquid. Because of o ka se bone wa bona and o ka re detoxa ka pila like
yona I get liquid obviously he tsena fela ino fitla ya mix unlike powder wa bona he dissolve o khono
there's something
there's like those crystals nyana kamhare, but when it's a liquid it becomes difficult to see. And then all right Brian, maybe let's just say we can try to change the type of containers that we're using to drink. You know, when you have something in straw, and then the opening is a bit small. Better, like for ladies, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's better because that hole, straw. Someone can just pour something easily, unless it's easier for us to see. But when it's an open glass like the one that Brian has, it becomes difficult because and then life continues. When our feet so. Brian, who advise on this one, because there's just a lot that can happen, and unfortunately poison, but we don't really know what goes on. You know, poison a demonstrator, you know, unlike topic this one it's a very conflicting one. So I think maybe also the viewers by they've experienced it. How do you see this person is about to poison me? How do you read between that? How do you read between the lines to say this person is about to do this, and how do we prevent that from happening in our society? Because now we see it happening. The story that I'm talking about in Hammanskraal, I don't have facts. It is just alleged, guys, because we see things on social media. So I don't want to conclude, but I've seen a post about a police officer who lost his life, and it's because of an apparent poisoning go bialing. So yeah, story sa Louis it's factual he was poisoned. He was poisoned bialing. So guys, how do we prevent that? How do we minimize that? And then how do you cut off people baba jealousy mo bophelong ba hao? Competitive friends, be it family, cousins, it can come from different sides, you know, colleagues especially. How do you see them? How do you identify them? And then how can you eliminate them from your life? Especially if they are too close to you, because on Brian, it's a bold decision. So how do you do that to protect yourself?
Yeah, but I think it start ka gore wena o batla eng mo bophelong, and then o nyoko bona bophelo ba go bo feletse kae. And you must know gore mo bophelong tlile o one and you have a purpose. So o ska tsa ditšhomo di bya go pele, because of at the end of the day bona ditšhomi tse o tlo kra ka boshiba o tsela ba make la di decisions, because of har le batho a re lekane mo di minding. And remember mo ditšhomi hona le ba bo tlhalenyana, hona ni eng. So o kra every time wena o kra lo o almost tele ba o feketsa ba etsa,
and hona le ba lucky a re tlhe komana teng a tshwana le batho ba they're just fortunate, their lives they just go like this. So yeah,
o ka phela wa phela le batho. It's not like o le motho wa tshwana phela le batho, motho ke motho ka batho, but o ska kra bya wena o tsene ka tlhogo mo ditšhoming mo kae limit yourself gore o phela byang wa bona. So na I think gore ke fetsa nka ifetsa gore byalo ke tumile, and la bona re guys re no metsi. So couple next time re krenyana someone a kanya kan re advertise something say product nyana, cold drink nyana, juice nyana, re ska kra re tepola ka metsi re te khama. Guys, we are doing this because of we know gore people ba na le mathata, batho ba ka bolang le bona. So we are doing this because of we know gore somewhere somehow o mongwe wa rutega. So gore re bolele so today or tonight, we know gore someone o tleletse, and ba bantši we know gore they love our shows, and ba bang ba nyoko di fetsa because of they know gore by Twitter something mo tsona. So we will continue re bolela ka di minds over matter, and because of mathata a fail. And what I can say lastly ke tumile ke gore guys, let's be careful, let's choose people we associate ourselves with, and ha re trying go ba le di self control, ha re ska re di anger di re lidele go di dilo tsentse bad. And lastly nna nka tswalang ka ona gore guys, let's stop making quick decisions. Ke ne le mathata re go tepolaya no, ke ne le mathata re ke tlwele everything re ke etse no.
Yeah,
go nne ni pineng ya Celine Dion e re think twice, baby think twice. Yeah,
think twice. You have to think twice, and you have to consider the people ba leng hore ba sala ko morago. Wena o tshella motho poison, that person is the only hope, is a breadwinner ko ntlong. When you decide to take their lives, and then it's not only that person is gone, maybe no clearly and no, it's you but now there are people ba leng hore ba sala ko morago. Guys, let's be considerate, let's sympathize, let's have it's so sad to see children growing up without parents. It's so sad, be it a dad, be it a mom. It's so sad seeing children ba lositse motswadi because of a selfish deed ya motho o mong. Guys, if you, it's okay hore o salle ko morago. Like, we are not all going to progress ka nako e one. Your time will come. So if your jealousy pushes you to kill someone, how do you then continue ka bophelo ba hao? Do you think that happiness that you're chasing, you'll finally get it after o bolaya motho? No, it doesn't work like that, guys. It doesn't work like that. And then when your time is not, when it's not yet your time, please amohela or asenkibe nako ya hao. Clap hands for those who are making it, and then ipotse hore ya hao nako e tlatla. But ho poisona motho o mmolaya o fetse bophelo ba hae, it's not a solution. Yeah, kopela ho itswalla ke re so.
Yeah, thank you guys. Ke le Branson Nomadikere, we love you, and be careful, guys. Be careful. Bophelo bo boima, bophelo ase papadi.
Yeah. No, good night. Thank you for joining us. Like I said last week, please engage. And if you have anything, or if you have a topic that you would like us to tackle, or if you have guys, we also need people who are able to speak and who are able to engage, who are able to elaborate. People by they are well informed. Like, if you know such a person, or if you that person, don't hesitate to join us on our social media at Kasi Lifestyle. Brian Senwamadi will be there to assist you. He's just a phone call away, guys. We are there on TikTok, we are there on WhatsApp, we are there on Facebook, we have our YouTube page, our podcast. So please do subscribe. Subscribing is free, and then please, thank you.
Hola.